Welcome to the Afrocentrics podcast, where we explore everything from personal development to fulfillment, African pride, dating, and all things that make your spirit thrive. The Afrocentrics podcast is not just for Afrocentric people, but for everybody. Our shows will entertain as well as educate and focus on uplifting positivity. So, take some time out on your commute or lunch break and plug in with us and be inspired. The Afrocentrics podcast, proudly African. Hi guys, and welcome to the Afrocentrics podcast. Woohoo! It's so good to be back after such a long break, and I'm so happy to be back again. So, now that we are back, there is a new segment on the show, and it is called Drumroll, The Woman, Her Story, and Her Impact. Yes, where I get to talk to different women from different parts of the world, from different spheres, and they're going to be sharing with us their story, but most importantly, how they are impacting their world. Are you ready for this? Oh my gosh, I'm so super excited about the women I'm going to be featuring on this segment on the Afrocentrics podcast. Aside this, we're going to be having other segments as well on the Afrocentrics podcast. So you want to do well to subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also, share with your friends and family, because it's about to go down on the Afrocentrics podcast, and we're going to be bringing you amazing content, right? So be ready for it. So today, I have with me, all the way from India, oh my gosh, I have with me Coach Pikki Nanda, all right? And guess what Coach Pikki Nanda does? She is into developing leaders, teams, and individuals on communication, resulting in powerful relationships and business outcomes. And she's got over 40 years experience. Woo! When I saw that on her profile, I'm like, hey, I need to talk to this woman. She has something for us. For you to have been working for 40 years, you definitely have something to say. And I remember meeting her at the just concluded African Women's Summit in Dubai, where she talked about body language, especially for women and as entrepreneurs. So we're going to be digging deep into that conversation, all right? But before we go in and before I bring on my guest of the show, here's a message for you. Hi there. Do you fit into any of these categories? Are you a stay-at-home mom with a lovely voice, sweet to tell bedtime stories? Or are you a coach with clients who love to listen to your voice? Or are you a young creative looking to explore the world of audio? That can be starting your podcast or lending your voice to SMEs for their business ads. Or are you great at interpreting and telling stories with the ability to captivate your audience? Then this audio bootcamp is just what you need to give expression to your voice. Do you know that you can earn extra income by applying your voice in these different areas? Not sure how? Let me show you how. Sign up for the Audio Bootcamp course today and join a community of like-minded creatives like yourself using their voices for impact and income generation. Click the Learn More button now to sign up. All right, we are back, and now I have my guest with me. Hi, Coach Pikki.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well too.
Awesome. It's so great to have you here.
It's great to be here today.
Thank you so much for saying yes. And I'm so honored to be your first podcast host.
Yes, you are. Definitely.
Amazing. Oh, so good to meet you at the summit. And, when you were on that panel, I'm like, hey, I need to bring this woman on the show to share with us from our wealth of experience. So we're going to start with knowing you first.
Okay.
Right? I know I didn't read the whole of your bio, but that is going to be attached in the description of this podcast, both on YouTube and on the podcast. But I always love to hear from, let's say, normally you'll say the horse's mouth, but today, let me say, I want to hear from the queen's mouth, okay? Since we're talking about women here, so tell us about you, your journey so far, and then we'll dive into body language.
Okay, I am basically a diplomat's daughter. So travel the world with my parents, various countries in Africa, and also in Europe and Asia and Australia. My key from that is that learning different languages, different cultures. So what I believe in, cultures without borders. So we need to break those borders and be one human race.
Absolutely.
So that's most important, what I find. I am an HR person. I worked for various multinationals in the UAE, in Qatar, in India, and
In the major business, in the major industries.
yeah, and traveled widely in my work too. What brought me to coaching was the HR background, where I developed more into training, like developed my own training programs, training leaders, teams. The main kind of training I did was conflict management, intra-department. So how to bring that out and do that. So that was done over many countries. So that's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So before we dive into the discussion, how have you been able to manage, having to, live in different parts of the world, right? Understanding different cultures and languages. By the way, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 4 major languages. A little bit of Kiswahili, maybe just a little bit.
Okay.
Just for
So
understanding.
English?
English, German, Hindi, Punjabi, bit of Kiswahili. I tried to learn a little bit of Spanish, but
It's too hard.
no, it's very simple. No interest. When you
I
learn
love
German, that's it.
I love the honesty. They're like, hey, I'm not interested, but
Yeah.
okay. It's okay to still learn how to say hi, how are you?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's what we do.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, it must be exciting to have lived in different part of the world.
Yes, very exciting because you get a chance to make friends every 3 years. You see new cultures. You go to new schools, new universities if you can, and a new lifestyle.
Wow.
So it's always exciting and challenging because you have to make friends all over again.
Exactly. I was gonna come there. Like, I know a lot of people who like, oh no, we're moving again. Why?
Yeah.
So, but that wasn't your. I feel like you saw it in a different, like okay, it's another opportunity to know new people from new
Yes.
places. Because there are people who have to move like that. It's like, oh no, I just want to be one place to
Yeah.
build connection for so long.
Yeah.
But I guess it's also why you've delved into the area of expertise that you're in HR. So dealing with different people, right? So now,
Absolutely right.
I know. So now let's get into the meat of the discussion. I remember on that panel at the summit, you were talking about, the body language, how you can get into a room and how, without what you say, how you comport yourself, how you look, you smile, everything is part of the communication. So the question here is, especially as women, since we're talking about women, how can we groom ourselves to that point where when we enter a room, we're able to size the room and give the right body language that will establish great and meaningful relationships?
Okay, so before entering the room, you need to do some work on yourself, right? So you need to be appropriately dressed, feel the change in your aura or in your style or in your energy because you're gearing up for the occasion. If you're going to an event like where we were, read a bit before you go, read a little bit of the people who are going to be talking and what the organization does. So all that is very important. And talk to the organizers if you can. Keep the communication between them and yourself open. So that means they already know you. So when you go in, actually they already know you. So I'll give you an example. When I walked in and I said, hi, how are? And she said, hi, Pikki.
Because you've already started the communication.
We already started some time back. So it means the ice was broken. The main thing is to break the ice. And how would you do it? Supposing my body language is an open language, so my palms are open. I'm open. I'm looking at you in your eyes, not staring at you. I'm just trying to get you and connect with you, but you're not looking at me. What does it say?
Maybe you're not confident.
Yeah, maybe you're not confident. Maybe you are scared of me. Maybe I'm too overbearing for you. So what would I do to make you comfortable so that you actually talk to me? So I would go down to where you are and maybe smile a bit more. And the muscles are maximum here, right, in the body. So smile a bit more, talk to you and what you resonate with, and then bring it out. And then we talk. We actually can have a conversation where I will see a shift in the body language. Maybe initially the hands are like this, the hands open up. Maybe the person is a little bit far in distance.
They come a bit closer.
To hear me comes a bit closer. But we all have our space, so we don't get into each other's space. It becomes overbearing if somebody steps into your space. A lot of people do step into each other's space.
Absolutely.
There were many there also.
Absolutely.
So they step into your space. So you need to back out there or back, go far. That's what you would need to do. Important is listening. It doesn't. I'm hearing you, but am I actually listening? Is it actually going in or going through? What's happening?
What's going on?
So listening is a key to every communication. And if you can't understand, ask again. Always ask. Could you please repeat it? Or did I hear this correctly? Do I understand it this way? Could you elaborate? Anything.
So that
keeps the
conversation going. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just studying about the body language, and helpguide.org defines body language as the use of physical behavior, expressions, and mannerism to communicate non-verbally, and often it is instinctively and not consciously.
You're absolutely right.
So if there are things that, how do we then, I feel like there are things that we do that is already part of us. Unconsciously, we don't even know we're giving that kind of vibe.
Yes.
How do we catch ourselves to know that I think this vibe I'm giving, I need to work on it?
Yeah, because if you are doing or learning body language, then you would catch yourself. You would do a conscious catch. Sometimes, I was sitting with you earlier and I was doing like this. Actually, it was no offense to you. Generally, a person when he's lying or wants comfort goes to the nose or goes to the ear. You can check a lot of celebrities or a lot of people. But they need comfort in a conversation. They start touching their ear. You may have noticed this also. So this is also a very important factor which happens with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Non-verbal communication is 65%.
Absolutely.
35 is words. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do just words or do you want to do a combo?
And the combo is always the go-to, right?
Yes.
It's always the best.
It's the best.
I remember when I was preparing for this, I took a quiz online for body languages.
Wow. I like that.
And when I took the quiz, it was interesting to know. So I found out some new things, right? Like ideally, I know like one of the things they'll show you the pictures and then ask you, okay, what is this? Just for you to test how conscious are you. Yeah. And there was somebody like this. And the options were this person is closed off or this person is not confident or anything. But initially, when I chose, I didn't even think about it. I just went straight for the option of this person is closed off. But I was wrong.
Yeah,
because it could be anything.
It could be his cold.
Thank you! that was one of the options. Like it could be anything. It could be anything from being cold or just like really concentrating, thinking on something, trying to figure something. I'm like, oh, Okay, now I've learned, like, okay, not every time somebody's like this, they're closed off.
Absolutely.
So you need to weigh the situation too. So yeah, so I think, from that test, I got to know that, see, like you said earlier, if you want to be conscious of your body language, you need to study other people's body language.
Yes.
But also just the moment you're able to capture or understand what body language is,
Correct.
then you're able to catch yourself when you're
doing
doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
Like I also found out, like, when you're nervous, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a thing because this was one of the pictures that they showed in that quiz.
Yeah.
And when they showed this, they're like, what's the meaning of this? One of the options was, it means confidence, it means nervous, it means you're afraid or confused.
Mhm.
I think I picked something like confused, and you're like, no, this is actually confidence.
Confident.
This is exciting.
Because you're not putting in your hand.
Ah.
You are confidently holding them at the tips. So you're in your power. So remain in your power.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Thank you, because I feel like from that conversation you had on the panel, it just got me thinking. Like, I've been thinking really, like, how am I really communicating with my body language? I'll give you a classic example. I think I was in a place recently, and it was after I left that I realized, you actually gave off the wrong body language. You were saying things like smiling, but deep down you weren't happy. Like, but I guess somebody around there could see that something is wrong. But like, I'm laughing, but something is wrong. So I'm like, so I need to pay more attention.
So what was wrong? It was you're smiling, but you're not smiling with the eyes, possibly. So the whole body has to be connected. And face, the eyes are the soul. They are your soul. So it goes inside you, and the other person can see it and feel it and reflect on what you're doing. So sometimes we do a fake smile, but actually we're not smiling with the eyes. So the other person definitely knows it's a fake smile.
I got it wrong from the quiz, actually. I saw that they gave us a smile, like, is this genuine smile? I said yes, like, no, because when this is something you should learn, well, I learned it now, like when it's genuine, it creates the wrinkles around the eyes.
Definitely.
Wow. Okay, I'm very lost. All right, so one word from you to, women out there, especially entrepreneurs, what would you say to them when it comes to the body? What would be one word that you leave to them? Like somebody who's trying to really be conscious about their body language, what one word would you leave with them?
Be in your power. That's 3 words, maybe 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Power is everything. Power. Be in your power.
Be in your power.
We all have it. It's inside.
Tap into it.
Just tap into it. Let someone give you a nudge, and then you blossom. That's what it is.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for sharing with us. All right, guys. So I have a question for you this week. So this week's question is, what is your most frequent nonverbal cue or body language? And we're going to start from here. But I want to hear from you, so you can send in a voice note, or you can do a video, or just send in a reply to a comment section on any of our platforms, and then we'll feature you in the next episode of the podcast with your responses. But we're going to start here. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to tell mine. What is your most frequent nonverbal body language?
My most frequent nonverbal body language is my standing with confidence.
Is there anything that gives that away, or is there something we can do to stand confidently?
No, you don't stand with your legs totally close together, just a little bit of a gap. So you're balanced and grounded.
Oh, fantastic.
That's your power.
Ooh. So does it mean when you stand like cross-legged, when you're standing like cross-legged, what does it say about you?
Okay. Cross-leg can mean either you're trying to balance, or you know more than the other person, so don't give me crap, cross-leg. Depends also how you're sitting cross-leg. Women will sit cross-leg if they're wearing skirts, or generally women sit cross-leg. But if a man sits cross-legs, what would it say? Something is wrong with him. Yeah.
What's up?
Or, yeah.
Interesting. I think my most or common nonverbal cue would be maybe tapping my foot. Like when I'm in a hurry, like I need to leave. Like,
I can see that. I can see that. I can see,
like, you know,
I can see
like,
the
hey,
change.
I need to
One leg
leave.
is forward, one is back in a bit of a running position.
Like I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, guys. So now you know, and I would like to know from you what your most frequent nonverbal cue is. Maybe you haven't even paid attention to it, but you should go think about it and please share with us. And you can follow us across social media at the Afrocentrics Podcast. And for me, I am the Ejiro Osakede across media. How can people connect with you, Coach? Because I know that you are into coaching both individuals and companies. How can people connect with you if they want you to coach?
They can. You can share with them my details, and I'm on Insta. I'm on the
LinkedIn.
website.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is very powerful.
Yeah.
They can connect on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and you have my number, you have my email, so that can be shared.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your graciousness. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
really an honor to be here with you.
Thank you.
All right. So, guys, I'm going to see you next week with yet another powerful woman sharing her story, her impact with us. Goodbye.